All right, let's get it. Da 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 da. All right, what time is it? 9:31. First things first. I don't think we got news today, so let's see what's gonna happen. Let me double check. Make sure nothing changed last time I checked yesterday. All right, today. No, not really. No news today. So let's go to the 5-minute chart, see what's going on these different time frames. While I wait, actually, let me start on the hourly chart, see what's going on. All right, we're below that 200, but we're right at a pivot point. We're taking out a low. So we'll see what happens here. Interesting area. There's still a gap fill down there that hasn't gotten filled. Actually, no, it has gotten filled. Never mind. 15-minute. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see what happens at this area. We got 2 minutes left for this 5-minute candle. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna wait. I don't want to start marking anything out and then it changes and I don't realize. So I'll wait till this thing actually closes for me to mark it out. Alright, we hit a low actually on. So we're pretty much taken out. We've taken out pre-market. Pretty sure. Here, let me check. I mean, we've taken out pre-market lows already, so we got like 30 seconds left. For this 5-minute candle. So this 5-minute range to start to form. All right, there's that 5-minute candle. Let's see what happens here. If we can actually. All right, be interesting to see if we can start making a move here. I want at least one more good trade for the to end off this week. Like, come on, Nasdaq, give me something, please, bruh. All right, we've pushing through that 5-minute opening range. We're about to close below it. About to close below it. You can see on an hourly chart, I mean, this is interesting area. I hope today's not one of those days where it just dumps and keeps dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping. All right, while we wait, give me a second. I'll be back. Really, NASDAQ? Fudge. This is so frustrating, man. Really, like no signs of life. Earth to NASDAQ. It's really just gonna do this today. It's gonna just keep dropping. Bruh, please don't do this. All right, we're at a pivot. We're at another pivot point. Tapping into a imbalance right here that hasn't got tapped into on an hourly chart. It's right at that pivot point. See if we could get a bounce here. Get some life. I guess I can, yeah, let me try to mark it out, actually. If we could get some life out of NASDAQ here. Earth to NASDAQ. Bruh, this is... We're selling off again. I don't know, the bulls are on vacation. Seems like the bulls are just... They're done. They're out. It's crazy, man. Yeah, we're just selling off. Seeing if we can. There's a gap on the hourly chart right there. Seeing if it can hold. It's not holding so far. We'll see. It's pretty crazy, man. Yeah, it does seem like it's going sideways on a bigger. If you look at the hourly chart, I mean, we've been just ranging sideways pretty much. So I'm saying, like, we could get some form of life down here, but where is the question? Because taking out levels, I mean, it's got a lot of room to the downside if you look at it in terms of, like, liquidity-wise. I mean, it's got, look at this. It's got a lot of room to the downside. So, man, seeing if we can get some form of buying pressure here. Is it going to find a bottom? Or is this just going to be a replay of yesterday? Selling. Ugh. buyers can step in here. Oh, come on. Hit TP, nice. No, I haven't taken a trade yet. I mean, there's nothing to... For me, at least. I mean, it's what I look for. I'm not a breakout trader, you know? So, this is a breakout trader type of play. New week opening gap. I mean, it kind of filled it already, didn't it? Isn't this the gap right here? Hold on. November 9th. That was, right? That was Monday? Yeah. I mean, the gap kind of filled, right? I mean, it opened up and it filled it and then kind of ripped back up. This gap right here is right above that new week opening. Holy crap, we're just dumping. Bruh, this is frustrating, man. I'm just itching to take, I just want to take a trade. It's just not giving me anything. This freaking sucks. It's got room to the downside though, but come on, man. It's like this has been the pattern for the past freaking what, 2-3 days already. It's just been opening and pushing through that 5-minute opening range and just going through it with no, you know. Man. People that had sell since opening. Yeah, if you're a breakout trader, I mean, this is a breakout type of trade. If you're a breakout trader, then good job. And that's kind of the sort of the thing is like you just never know. Like, I'm not a breakout trader, so right now, breakout trader strategy works. But a day is coming when, you know, the breakout trader strategy is going to get stopped out, you know, and my strategy is going to work. I'm going to get an entry, and he's not going to get an entry, or he's going to get stopped out. Because the problem with, like, breakout trades, people that take breakout trades, unless you have a specific rule set for breaking, like, confirmation, like, if you just take every breakout trade in hindsight, yes, this looks really good. But think about on the days where we take out a level and then rip back up, right? Then those type of traders get burned really badly because they keep trying to catch the breakouts and it keeps, you know, reversing on them and they keep getting stopped out. Golly, man, this sucks. But that's the beauty of trading. One day somebody's strategy works, the other day another person's doesn't work, and vice versa. The next day his works and his doesn't. And all right, let's see what's happening. I mean, I'm freaking... Look at this shit. Bruh. It's right at that new week. I mean, it's right at that new week opening gap area. At this pivot point here. Looks like we're shifting structure to the downside, which I don't know why. I mean, we've been kind of selling off. I mean, we haven't since since the 12th, since 2 days ago, right? Wait, no, that was yesterday. We're making higher lows on the hourly chart. You could see we made a high, took out this high, made a high, higher low, and now we're kind of breaking to the downside. Huh. At this point, man, it's... Wait for a retest after the breakout? Yeah, see, that's smarter. Because I know there are people who just take the breakout, which it does work sometimes, but I feel like every strategy you need to have some sort of confirmation. And here's the part, right? Here's the part, the downside of having confirmations. Obviously, the upside, having confirmations, you stay out of a lot of stupid trades. But the downside to not having confirmations is you miss out on trades, right? Like something like this, where it just keeps dumping, and you're looking for that confirmation, but it just keeps dumping and never gives you the confirmation. It just pretty much leaves without you. But it's still better, I think, because if you have a strategy that keeps you out of, you know, possible trades that don't work out, there's a gap November 7th. Let's see. When was, dude, 7th with the 7th? I mean, we do have gaps, yeah. We do have unfilled gaps to the downside. I mean, this hourly, I feel like it's a pretty big red flag once this hourly gap gets inversed. If this really holds this low down here, shoot. Well, we got some gaps down here, right? There's a couple gaps down there, so there's some room to the downside for sure. I mean, now I feel like the top of this 5-minute range right here is going to hold as resistance. If this does pop up, this could pop up easily to hold, like, pretty much what happened yesterday, right? The top of this 5-minute range pops up, holds as resistance, and then starts kind of reversing from there. But you can see, like, if you look at price action, like, buyers aren't really stepping in at all. I mean, there's no sort of buying pressure coming back in the market at all. Which is wild. Usually you get some sort of like push up, you know, and then a dump back down. This is just like they're not even there. Now we have some probably gaps to the upside now, right? Yeah, I mean, on the 5-minute chart, we got some gaps up here to the upside now. I mean, this thing is bearish, like. There is a short opportunity if this thing can go up here, but we'll see. I mean, it's not something I would take, but I'm just saying, in general, there is a short opportunity up here. Bro, I need to get more accounts and try this short strategy type of play. Where the days where this thing breaks out of the 5-minute range and closes way down here, I need like a short type of play where I can just take shorts off of the first gap that broke the 5-minute range to the downside. I would need to do some back testing on this strategy. Maybe this weekend I'll try it. And then next time Apex has a sale, I'll just try to get one account. I won't get a lot. I'd probably just try to get one account just to kind of trade this strategy and see if, you know, like what's the win rate on something like this where it pops up 5-minute opening range and starts rejecting on days where, you know, it just doesn't. Let's see what happens here if it actually taps into this gap and then rejects. Be interesting. See how it happen. What happens today? I'm trading NASDAQ. Yeah, if it rejects. And I would have to do back testing on that. I've just seen it happen plenty of times already. I would need to do some back testing on it and to kind of look for confirmations. Like, you know, not just, like, is it better to blindly just buy just because it's coming up to the gap? Or possibly have a confirmation type of strategy where, you know, you maybe wait for that red candle. Wait for at least one red candle to close to show that it's rejecting, and then kind of like take it and have tight stops up there above that candle. Like again, like I said, I would need to do back testing on that to see how it works. Because right, like my first strategy is the breakout, break-in strategy where I look for a breakout and then a break back in, leaving behind a bullish gap to target the next level. That's kind of like, so it's kind of like a reversal strategy. But on days where it opens up like this and just tanks, like, I mean, the strategy just doesn't, obviously, there's nothing to take. But then you have something like this where a lot of times it'll come up and start rejecting. Like it did that yesterday, right? It came up to the bottom of the 5-minute opening range and it pretty much rejected to the downside. Curious to see if it happens again today. So let me delete this gap right here. And we'll draw another gap to see, you know. So we have this pretty much gap that broke the 5-minute range. So theoretically, like, we'll see if it taps in there. See one red candle and then try to get that as a confirmation. Because you don't want to kind of, what I'm thinking is you don't want to put an order inside, right? Just put a limit order in so when it comes up, it just taps you in. You want that confirmation because you don't know. You're going to put a limit order in. You don't know if this thing just continues ripping to the upside and just rips past your order. So for those instances, you want to be able to, you know, be hands off and just kind of not take a stupid loss. I'll try the back testing this weekend. I think I'll have some time during this weekend and I'll sit there and do the testing on it. And then wait for Apex to have a sale and I'll buy one account just to kind of trade it on the side when I don't get a setup on my funded. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It filled that 5-minute. So we tapped into that 5-minute imbalance right here. There is a super tiny imbalance up here. Like a very tiny one, but it's not really anything significant. Let's see how this works out, right? We'll wait for price to kind of tap into this imbalance right here. Once it taps into it, we'll see how this strategy would work out today. And I'm not taking this trade. This is just me kind of back testing. I blew an account about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you gotta make sure to have a strategy and just follow the strategy. That's it. Don't be the person that just like trades emotionally. That's what most traders do, is they just trade emotionally. They may have a strategy, but it's not solid enough. A lot of times, all right, here we're tapping into it. All right, let's see if we could get if a red candle. So pretty much one red candle to the downside as a confirmation. All right, there's that rejection off that imbalance. 5 minute. See if this candle closes red. This is just a 1 minute imbalance that's paired with the opening 5 minute opening range. So it's not only tapping into this imbalance, but that's also that blue line right there is the 5 minute opening range. See, you didn't get a red candle yet. No red candle yet. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know how well this strategy works. I have not backtested this. I'm just seeing how it plays out today. So if it doesn't work, don't be like... So we're still showing buying pressure stepping in here. All right, let's see. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so... Nope, never mind. Still green. So kind of waiting for that red candle confirmation. Sellers are... No, I'm not bullish right now. I'm not in a trade. Just watching this to see how this would work out right now. 30 seconds. Is Nvidia selling off or ripping? All right. 10 seconds. All right, let's see if this was your entry. So if you would have entered right there, stop above these kind of highs up here, just in case. Let's see if you would have entered here, what would happen. Target would probably be, I mean, the lows. Oh, it's still pushing up. Oh, it's dropping hard? Oh, snap. We're still bearish as long as, in my eyes, as long as we don't break back into this 5 minute range and start ripping to the upside, then we're still below the range, so. But it may want to push up and take out this low. I don't know. It is a tough area to get through. This is going to be a tough area because it's the 5 minute opening range. There's a lot of volume traded in there, so. I guess TP would have to be like the lows down here. Body candle low. well, look at this. I'm telling you, I've seen this, like, these rejections off this 5-minute opening range is pretty crazy. I mean, you pretty much already caught a 1-to-1. This is already, like, if you took this trade, this, not yet, actually. Never mind, not yet. You would have, what, 10, 20, 30, 40 point stop. So 10, 20, 30, 40 point would be right there where my cursor is, would be a 1-to-1. So I would need to do back testing on. So there's a 1-to-1. So you would have had just a 1-to-1. And obviously stuff like this, for strategies like this, you would need to do back testing to see what's better. You know, taking profits at the lows, taking it just as a 1-to-1, like, so. I think 1-to-1 would be the best, probably. Just not to be greedy, just base hits, man. Base hits add up over time. When you start to get greedy, you start to take losses, unnecessary losses, and then it's just like, I think it evens out, in my opinion. I think it evens out in the end. Like, yeah, you may catch a couple banger trades, but all the unnecessary losses you took where you could have just made money if you would have did just a 1-to-1, I think it just evens out. Just like when I realized, just like when I don't leave runners for my strategy, I don't leave runners. Because when I realize, like, I'll leave a runner, get stopped out, break even. Leave a runner, get stopped out, break even. And then finally, my runner hits TP. But then the runner that finally hits TP, all it's doing is, like, if I calculate the trades where if I would have just taken full profit and not left a runner, it pretty much comes out to the same thing. Just made 3K on Bitcoin. Nice. Yeah. This is kind of like, you know, if my main strategy didn't show itself, this is a strategy that I just see happen time and time again. I mean, I've seen it, you know, just me watching the market, I've seen it happen so many times that it kind of works out nicely in a sense of right? Because my first strategy, what I look for is a breakout, break-in strategy, right? So when that strategy doesn't work, this naturally happens, right? Because this naturally happens, so the first strategy didn't work because this happened. But because it broke out and sold off, now I could use this strategy to kind of see if I can catch the reversal off the bottom of that 5-minute range. And you can see, let's go to yesterday real quick, watch. Yesterday's price action, and you can see what happened. We have, I think I still have that 5-minute range marked out, hopefully. Do I? Yeah, I do. So see, this is yesterday's 5-minute range right here. Look what happened yesterday. We broke out of the 5-minute range. We sold off. So at that point, I was like, all right, the strategy is not going to work today probably. And look what happened. We sold off. We broke out of that 5-minute range. Look, we've pretty much held the bottom of that 5-minute range for the rest of the day. We were below that 5-minute range. But look what it did in the morning. It dropped out. And then look, it came back up. And pretty much you have, let's see, that was your, and it tested that 5-minute, bottom of that 5-minute range. It tested it. So, here, give me a second. I'll be back. All right, so like I was saying, so it tested this 5-minute range, but here's the thing I'm noticing with this one. Before we go back to what's happening today. Here's what I'm noticing about this one, like, see the red candle, so you kind of would have got in right there. You would have got in right there, it would have stopped you out. Then maybe you enter off of this red candle, try it one more time, and then for a 1-to-1 for the lows. So yeah, you technically would have, and kind of maybe allow yourself two tries maximum. So this is why I'm saying you just got to do the back testing on it. That's the powerful part about back testing, where you can see, oh, it didn't work, but what if I tweak it in this way? Will it work now? Oh, okay, it works now. And see, this is why you don't get greedy. This is why you kind of, like what I was saying, maybe a 1-to-1, because you get greedy and you have your take profits at the lows. Look at that, you get stopped out. All because you were greedy to take a profit down here. So. Ugh. I mean, now that it's breaking into the range, but even for my first strategy, if I get a setup, that risk to reward doesn't make sense anymore, right? If I have my stop down here and my TP up here, like really, I'm going to be risking. But I saw, oh, my bad. I saw somebody do this yesterday, right? Because I go back and I have a few traders I just like to watch what trades they took and stuff like that. Bro, I saw a trader yesterday get into a trade. His TP was a $200 profit. His stop loss was a $500 risk. Bruh. Are you kidding me? You're telling me you're risking $500 to make $200. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, make that make any kind of sense. So, like, it is what it is. It's not, you know, I don't really care. It's not my money. But it's just, it like fascinates me why somebody would want to risk that much money for such little profit. Like, you can risk $500 to make $200, and you can make $200, but then you got to take a step back and ask yourself, was that really a good trade? Even though you made money, that was a stupid trade regardless of if you made money. Because if you continue doing that, right? If you continue doing that in the long run, you're going to get burned. Imagine if you go on a streak of taking two $500 losses, two full-size $500 losses. Now you just lost $1,000. You lost $1,000. Now look how long it's going to take you to make that back with like $200-300 profits. So you're just setting yourself back. But, you know, I don't know. It kind of shocks me. I don't know if I'm just naturally more like, I don't know. Even if I get a setup, I'm not going to take it if the risk to reward is bad. Like, I don't care. Like, I can miss out. I can not take a trade. I could take one trade a week, and that's still really good money. And then the weeks where I have break-even weeks, maybe I take a good trade and then I take a loss. A break-even week is fine because I can come back the next week. For me, the goal is on the month, right? I don't look necessarily day by day. Like some people, I have to make $200 or average $300 every day. And that mindset, you start to force trades, right? But when you take a step back and you go, well, my goal is not to make money every single day. My goal is not even to make money every single week. My goal is to be green on the month. And how much green am I going to be on the month will all determine of, you know, what kind of setups the market gives me. Some months you're crazy green. Some months you're not green. Some months you're break even. Some months you're super profitable. But when your super profitable month is like a $30,000 month, well, you can have some slow months after that and you're still doing really good. Have you ever used pocket option? No, never used pocket options. So you kind of like, so now my main strategy is kind of setting itself up, but again, I don't think it's like, just the risk to reward does not make sense. So we'll kind of go through where I look for main strategy, right? Now we have, like technically my stop, theoretically my stop would have to be at the lows. So, I mean, I'm not, you know, getting into a trade just to take profit at this high right here and then, you know, have my stop. I would have to have my stop technically at the lows, but that doesn't make sense. So I'd have to have my stop below these lows. And then if I do that, I haven't back tested on how that's going to work. And then if it doesn't work and it's just going to stop me out and run to the upside, that's me taking a trade not according to my plan. So, but I would need to see a gap, a bullish gap inside as a confirmation for me to even like, you know. And we're rejecting. We're at an area right now where this is a reversal area. This could reverse here. We're rejecting. There's a pivot point right there. There's the 200. And you don't see it, but right up here is the view op. So right above that 200 is the view op. So there's so much resistance up here that so we're back now. We're like, but at the same time, we're back in this 5-minute range. So I think we could at least take out these highs up here before trying to go down, or at least go to the body candle high up here. So like this body candle high you see to the left, I think we could at least tap into that or take out the highs before going back down. See, we're starting to kind of reject off this here. It hasn't tapped into the body candle though. So that's why it's kind of like, even the area. But I love the trades where like you're so confident in it, like everything is setting itself up good. Like those days where I'm like, I get a setup, it's bouncing off view up, I'm getting a long setup, it's freaking like, there's some trades where they're just like, everything just works perfectly. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, you want to buy low and sell high. So like, even if I get a long setup, I gotta ask myself, like, if I get a long setup here, right? You gotta start to ask yourself, even though you get a setup, is it smart to take it if we're at the highs? Now, it all depends on where your stop loss is. And see, we're tapping right back into that. There's the body candle high. So see what happens here. Are we gonna take out this high and start dumping, or? But see, like, that's the downside with this strategy here. The downside is you have to be super patient with this strategy. You may get like 2 trades a week with this strategy. But here's the other part. So me, for the past 2.5 months, right? For the past 2.5 months, my win rate has been at above an 80% with this strategy. So, like, you know, you don't get a trade every day, but when you do get a trade and everything works out, like, you know, you end up making money. And out of, like, you know, 24 trades, taking like 4 losing trades out of 24 is pretty good. That's like an 80-something% win rate. That's part of the reason why, I mean, you see me a lot of times come in and I'll read price action, and that's why I'm trying to figure out another strategy too that I can kind of back test so I can use also if this strategy. So I'm really leaning on this one right here. Hopefully Apex, so Apex's sale ended it ended yesterday, but I'm sure they're gonna release a sale maybe by the end of the week or early next week. They'll release another sale, some sort of sale. And then once Apex releases another sale, I'm gonna buy one account and just kind of back test this live to see how it works. I mean, I'll do some back testing and then I'll forward test it live. But I'm gonna do that this weekend to see. I'm gonna deep dive in this strategy this weekend and see like what I can do. So typically my process is for a strategy, doing normal to back testing, right? I do normal back testing, and then I take the losing trades of the back test, and then I go back and I try to figure out what I could have done to maybe try to tweak the strategy just a little bit. If there's anything I can do to tweak it to eliminate those losses to increase the win rate of the strategy. So that's kind of the process that I go through before in my back testing. And that gives you, like, you know, you're kind of like tweaking it to get the highest win rate to be able to, and sometimes you can't tweak anything. It's just a loss, you know. In that case, you just move on. But we're going back to the lows. Yeah, that's why I said this is a rejection area. This is an area of rejection where it could reject. Like I said, we have the top of the 5-minute. We have that 200 right there. We have a pivot point right there. And we have the view op up there. What did I say? Remember, rewind the freaking tape. What did I say? This thing could touch into the body candle high and reject. Look what happened. Look what happened. Where's that body candle high? Look to the left where that body candle high, not the wick high. I said it could go for the wicks too, but there's the body candle high. Look at that. Tapped right into the body candle high and rejecting right off it. Ugh. What time is it? Almost 10:30. We're still like, if you look on a higher time frame, I mean, you can kind of see why it would reject it, right? Look, always look on higher time frames. Look at this. I mean, we closed, right? That hourly candle closed all the way there. That 10 a.m. candle opened up. And when that, ask yourself, when this 10 a.m. candle opens up, where could it reject off of? This is why you have to pay attention to higher time frames. Look at all this previous support right here, right? Previous support. Previous support. Previous support. Previous support, previous support, and then finally that previous support broke to the downside. Now, when this hourly candle closes all the way down here, you ask yourself, once that 10 a.m. candle opens up, where is it most likely to reject? All this support turns into what? New resistance. So when it comes back up, look what happened. It came back up, tested these lows down here, and now it rejected right off those lows. And you have other confluences on a 1-minute chart why it could reject there. So it's like, That's why you got to move through different time frames and understand why it could do something. If you're in a long, you know, if somebody took longs down here, if you're in a long position, you got to understand that it could reject off of there. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to hold, or is it better to take maybe full TP? Maybe take 90% off and leave a runner. All depends on your strategy and how it works out over the long span. The statistics of leaving a runner. But trading is all data based. And that's what, I think that's what a lot of traders don't understand. It's all data based. That's all it is. You find a strategy, you backtest it, and you start tweaking. The minus tweak of your strategy can improve your win rate. For every trade that would have been a loss, but you stayed out of it because of some red flag, that increases your win rate. And every loss you take decreases your win rate. So I don't know why people have there's so many people have a hard time understanding that. Trading is just statistics. That's all it is. Sorry to break it to you, but you're not going to find a strategy that has 100% win rate. So in that case, when you don't have a strategy with 100% win rate, let's say you have a 70, 60% win rate. Now take the probability. What's the probability of, for example, in a 60% win rate, what's the probability of hitting, say 10 losses in a row? Is it likelihood over the course of, say, 1,000 trades, there's a chance that you're going to go through a drawdown period where you can get to a streak of losses, right? It's just like flipping heads or tails. There's going to be a certain point where heads starts landing over and over and over again over the course of, and that's same thing with trading. That's why I even pay attention to that. I know with a 80% win rate, as long as I can keep that 80% win rate, the chance of me hitting 7 losses in a row is like 0.1% chance with an 80% win rate. So I can size according and keep track of my data, and I can be confident as long as my win rate is above 80%, I can be confident that, I'm good. But what I'm saying is you're going to go through drawdown. You're going to take a losing trade and then take another losing trade and possibly take another losing trade depending on your win rate. It's not that your strategy doesn't work. It's that it's statistics. And if you could possibly see a reason, maybe intuition plays a role in it where you're just like, I'm getting a setup, but I don't like this. I don't like that we're below view up. So you stay out of it and you prevent a loss versus if you would have took the trade, you would have took a loss. And that's kind of where intuition starts to play into the game. Yeah, my strategies, I think it was think over the past, 24 trade, 24... I think it was 80% where I calculated. Oh, let me see.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Discovery 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Liftoff of mission 41B, first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Discovery Houston, trip to ATO.
Oh. Hold on, give me a second.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so my win rate right now is hovering at about 83%, which is pretty good. 83% win rate's pretty good. And that's what is the reason why I'm able to have an 83% win rate. Because, do you see me? I'm like one of the only traders on TikTok. Do you see me jumping in and out of trades every 10 minutes? No. I'm patient. If I don't get a setup, guess what? I'm hands off. Sometimes I can go a day, 2 days. Sometimes I can go 3 days without taking a trade. You know? That's it's the saying that Warren Buffett has, and he said it for a long time, of what the market does is the market takes away money from impatient people and gives it to patient people. So the people that are patient make money. The people that are impatient are constantly chasing the next trade. They're constantly chasing and chasing and chasing, and they just keep making money. So you'll see them make a decent amount of money, but then they'll give it right back because they keep chasing the next, you know, instead of waiting for their setup. And if you know your setup has a good win rate, why not follow it? Why mix it up with other crap that you're trying to do? And I'm not saying like my win rate doesn't mean that win rate's going to stay constant throughout my whole career, right? That win rate can start to shift. If I start to take 3 losses in a row, that win rate starts to shift. But I really haven't taken... I think the longest losing streak I've been on with this strategy is 2 losers in a row. And that's kind of why I have the risk parameter set in place that if my longest streak was 2 losers in a row, if I take 3 losers in a row, I'm sizing down on the 4th trade. I'm sizing down half size until I make back at least 1 full-size trade. And then if I do that, I can start sizing up again. So that when I'm losing, I'm sizing down. And then when I'm winning, I stay sized up. So I want my equity curve to be, the pullbacks to be very shallow. And then my rips to the upside to be steeper. So you have a little bit of a pullback and then a rip back to the upside. A little bit of a pullback and a rip to the upside. That's the goal. So for your equity curve to look like this. But it's tough. I mean, me building the discipline I have today, this is 3 years of trading. This very office. This very office. I remember when I first started trading and I was blowing up accounts. I've told this story before. This exact office. There's actually, I can still see I can still see a little bit of some stains on the wall. When I had like a coffee cup, one of those like coffee cups. I remember blowing up one of my, this was a live account. I blew up a live account because I didn't have a stop loss. I, held the trade for too long. It was options back when I was trading options, and I ended up blowing up the account. It was like a $4,000 account I blew up. I remember taking that cup and freaking just like throwing it against the ground. I was so pissed. Not pissed at the trade. I was pissed at myself. I was so mad at myself for doing that. After that, guess what? I've been disciplined ever since. Me not having a stop loss that's not even a question anymore. It's like embedded into my mind now that I always have a stop loss no matter what. I will take the loss. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going through that again. Where I'm blowing up my account. And that's not an evaluation account where you could just reset and buy another $33 account. That was back when like you had to fund thousands of dollars to trade again. So it's like all this stuff I went through made me the trader I am today. The trader I'm able to sit here, be patient, and wait. If I get a setup, I take it. If I don't, I walk away and I move on with my day. I'll come back tomorrow. And that's kind of what keeps me in the game, keeps me profitable. And, my goal is to make money at the end of the month. My goal is not to make money this week or next week. If I can make money at the end of the month, even a slow month, if I can still make, $10,000, I know over the long term, you can start making some serious money once you start sizing up. But it's like, it's I don't know if it's just like, see, I'm the type of person where I learn from my own mistakes, which kind of sucks. Like, I know not to do that. Like, not to do that. Not to trade without a stop loss. I mean, it's the basic rule of trading. Don't trade without a stop loss. You know not to do it, but you still do it. And it's like, I knew not to do it. I still did it up until the point where I got burned by it. And then finally I kind of like, that caused me to do it. Why did I have to learn the hard way? I don't know. So a lot of you guys today have the privilege of learning on funded accounts. That's why funded accounts are, honestly, they can be a curse, but they can also be a blessing to so many people. They've been a blessing to me. Funded account, like these evaluation prop firm accounts have been a blessing. I don't think I would have learned trading if it wasn't for these funded accounts. Why? Is because if I would have kept doing what I was doing, right? Like blowing up live accounts, eventually you get to the point where you have to stop. Like either you stop trading altogether because you're just losing too much money, or you trade sim, and most people don't want to trade sim to learn. So, but these funded accounts, I've also blown a bunch of evaluation accounts when I was learning. I blew a bunch of evaluation accounts. And now I don't blow accounts anymore. I really don't. It's very rare for me to like blow an account. If I'm like with this strategy, I've never blown accounts. With other strategies that I was trying, I've blown accounts, but like with this strategy that I finally got is like, yeah, I've never blown an account. My account's been just growing steadily. Now, sometimes it's been growing very steadily, but it is what it is. As long as it's growing, that's all I care about. What setup you waiting on today? So my main strategy setup did not happen. This 5-minute range strategy, the first. I was looking into, I'm going to be doing some back testing on this strategy right here where I was telling people earlier, where what I've noticed a lot of times is when I don't get my first setup, my first setup is a breakout break-in strategy, right? I found this strategy. I don't think anybody else there's one other trader I saw on a podcast recently. He talked about a very similar strategy. I don't know if it's the same, but the way he explained his strategy was very similar to mine. His is based on volume profile. Mine's based on the 5-minute range. But his was the same thing, and he had also an 80% win rate. So I don't know if it was the same thing or not, but this first strategy is kind of a breakout break-in where I look for a candle to break out of the range and then break back into the range, leaving behind a bullish imbalance to target the next level in the range. That's my main strategy. But what I've noticed is when that strategy doesn't happen and it breaks out of this 5-minute range and starts dumping to the downside, I've noticed a lot of times it likes to come back up to the 5-minute range to go lower. Right? So like what happened today, you see this 5-minute range, right? Look what price did today. It came back up, retested that 5-minute range, and then we had a pullback. Now, just targeting a 1-to-1 risk to reward, just stops above the highs, take profit 1-to-1. It worked out today. But this strategy, like I said, I'm going to be doing some back testing on the weekend to try to tweak it and try to get the highest win rate I can get, and then next time Apex has a sale, I'm gonna buy another account and then try to trade this strategy on and see how far I can take it with. But I got to do the back testing first. It may not even work. I don't know. I won't know until I do the back testing. But as of now, we're pretty much selling all the way back off. We've tapped into the top of that 5-minute range. Now we're selling off. We took out this low now. Trying to bounce off this pivot point. So strategy presents much more than your normal one. Yeah, so the thing about it is it depends on the market condition, right? It all depends on the market condition. So like 2 months ago, the first strategy was happening pretty often. So sometimes you get market conditions where market opens and it just dumps, right? Market opens and it dumps, or market opens and it rips. Market opens and it rips. Those market conditions, I don't get a setup for the first strategy. So it just all depends on the market condition. Lately, yeah, you're right. Lately it's been kind of just like either dumping to the downside and just retracing back up, retesting that range, and then going back down. Vice versa to the upside too. But like, I'm still gonna take it. I'm still gonna wait for it because it has a good win rate. So, and that's the cool thing about the strategy too is, like, if I don't get a setup, I stay out and I don't take a trade. So you're kind of like, when it doesn't work, you're not taking unnecessary losses when it doesn't work because you just don't get a setup. And as a trader too, I mean, I'm at the point in my, I'm at the point in my trading where, like, I do have a strategy that works, but I also want to learn more. I want to learn other strategies that I can backtest that also work. So I can have multiple strategies with multiple accounts. That's where it becomes really powerful, but it's been a perfect short for me. Yeah, recently this price action has been really good for, like, breakout traders recently. I'm sure if you're like a breakout trader, you've been catching some good moves. Doesn't Nas have news today? No. I mean, I don't think there's news pretty much for the rest of the week. Well, we're already at Friday, so yeah, there was no news today. I'm pretty sure there's no news tomorrow either. But yeah, don't look at other people. Don't look at, it's so easy to get caught up, especially, like, I'm the type of person, right? I'm on X too. I'm on X. I'm watching other people post P&Ls, and, like, it's so easy to, like, get caught and be like, freaking hey, everyone's making money except, like, I'm just not getting a setup. Every single day seems like everyone's always making money, which they aren't, but everyone's, like, posting their P&Ls, like, green day, green day, green day, and here you are just sitting here, like, day after day just waiting for a setup, and you're not getting anything. But what you guys don't see, the people posting P&Ls every single day, what they're not showing you is how many accounts they're blowing to get to that P&L. This is what I'm saying. Beware of prop firm trading at the same time, because this is the dangerous part you get into, is where you'll see a person trade live and he'll make, let's say $3,000. You're like, oh shit, he made $3,000. That's really good. And then you'll see him tomorrow make $3,000 again. And you're thinking like this dude's on top of the world. But what he's not showing you is the trades where he's blowing, where he takes a loss and he has to reset an account. And he took another loss and he reset the account. He's not showing you the losses. You're just kind of seeing the wins. And if he has the capital, if he has the capital to keep resetting accounts, that's fine. And, if that's his strategy for prop firms, personally, I don't want to build those kind of habits, because the way certain people trade with prop firms, you can't take those same habits to a live account, or else you're going to blow that live account instantly. So, like, the dangerous part is people train their minds to over leverage, right? Especially with prop firm accounts, people are training their minds to over leverage. And what happens is, if eventually you want to go to a live account, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to trade a live account, because you've in essence wired your brain to constantly over leverage on every single trade. Because your mindset is, oh, if I blow the account, I'll just reset it. I don't care. You can't take that same mindset in actual live trading. So it's just bad habits that you're wiring yourself to do. And it's going to be very hard if you ever want to go to live trading. That's why I'm also, like, the way I leverage and I'm preparing myself I'm planning to, in January, start a live account. And so I'm kind of preparing myself. I'm going to start this account with the same leverage I use pretty much on these accounts. And I'm going to just grow that account. My goal is to grow that live account and then keep taking payouts out of my prop firm accounts. Just copy trade the whole thing and keep taking payouts out of my prop firms and keep growing my own personal account. Don't buy or sell, go have a beer. Yeah, it's the beautiful part about being disciplined. You know, it's like, bruh, if I don't see anything, I can walk away and just go have a beer or whatever. And the ironic, you know what the ironic thing is social media has made it, I think my opinion is social media has made it harder for a lot of people to become profitable traders. It's a double-edged sword where social media has made it harder because, and I'm speaking from my own experience too, right? We're so used to those like fast dopamine hits, especially when you're scrolling through TikTok. What? You're getting just dopamine hit after dopamine hit. You're sitting there freaking just like constantly. What do we find ourselves doing? You scroll through one video. If the video doesn't grab your attention within the first 2 seconds, you're scrolling past it right away. Like every video has about a 2-second chance to catch your attention, or you're scrolling past it right away. And it's kind of that trickles into a lot of people's trading, where they come into trading and they treat it the same way as scrolling through TikTok. They're sitting there like, the market's going up. All right, buy. All right, sell. The market's going down. Sell. And they're constantly just chasing every single trade. And that's like, it's a bad habit to have in trading that does not work. May work over the short term. You may catch a little lucky streak, but if you want to be profitable long term, that doesn't work. All right, we're coming down now. Yeah, it looks like we're still dropping. We had a little push up here, but you can see we're still dropping here. About to tap into this opening gap, new week opening gap imbalance. And we got so much, bro, we got a lot of room to the downside. This is the crazy part of like how much room we actually do have to the downside, right? You don't see these kind of lows anywhere where price kind of like, takes out a low, rips back up. Like it's a straight, this was like, I don't know. It's got a lot of room to the downside. So it doesn't want to go all the way down there. Possibly. It'll be interesting to see where we are tomorrow. But you can see now we just took out the low again. So sellers are coming in here pretty strong. Pretty crazy market lately. We've just been kind of, for the past how many days already, we've just been kind of opening up and selling off. Opening up and selling off. Oh, we're hitting lows, man. I mean, this is also a kind of area right here. Very dangerous to get long and very dangerous to get short. So, like, what can you do here? Unless you're scalping for, like, 10 points. Unless you're, like, quickly in and out for 10 points. That's different. But we're just like, this is an area where we could reverse, but we've been selling off so hard that this could keep going down. Crazy. It's alright. Hopefully tomorrow is going to be... Normally, I had a week. I remember I had a month where... I think it was like 2 months ago. Or a month ago. Maybe a month ago. Where like Thursdays and Fridays were like my gold days. I don't know why, but like a month ago, Thursdays and Fridays were my days where I can catch a good trade. I don't know why. I was like, I had it slow the whole week. And then once it came to Thursday and Friday, bro, it would just be like... I would get a setup I would get a setup, and then Friday I'd get a setup and end my week on a strong note. Now it's just like, lately, Thursdays and Fridays, well, today's Thursday, just like, it's not giving me. We'll see tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow gives me something. What time is it, bro? I'm gonna need to start going. I think it's maybe a time just to call it. Or a good time to walk away. I like to just call it at 11 o'clock. Because after 11, price action starts to kind of die down into lunch hour. And even if I take a trade at 11, right, it starts to like, you risk getting caught in chop, where you're just getting chopped up sideways. So my normal cutoff time is about 11 o'clock, where it's good for you to have that same thing. Don't have it where you're like sitting there trading all day. Have a specific time, right? 9:30 till 11 o'clock, you trade, you look for setups. If you get a setup, you take it. If not, you walk away. And have a rule base. Some people don't take more than 2 trades a day. Some people don't take more than 1 trade a day, more than 3 trades a day. Whatever your rules are for your risk parameters and all that. Ugh. We're just dropping, bro. We're just, I mean... What's to do? I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. We're just I mean, I'm not gonna get anything. There's no... It's just dropping. There's not giving me anything, so... There's no chance of me getting a setup at this point, so... I'm gonna call it a day. Here's what it is. I walk away and... See, I still have a chance of, you know, we'll see tomorrow. All it takes is 1 trade for me and I'll have a green week. All right, now I'm hovering at break even on the week, pretty much. So if I get a trade tomorrow, I'll be green on the week. If I don't, I'm perfectly fine going into the weekend with a break-even week. So that's that. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what we get. Hopefully the market, you know, moves a little better for me. But yeah, that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't overtrade. Be patient. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30. Peace out.